Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Welcome back to Adobe Live. We are here now with Amber Torrealba. Welcome.
Good to be here.
Now, Amber, you might be familiar to people up there if anyone's opened up Rush, because you're on the loading screen.
Yep, it's kind of crazy.
Famous from the loading screen. Also, world champion skimboarder. Is that true? And many other accomplishments. We're going to get into those in a minute. But I want to say hi to everybody who's also in the chat joining us. There's the whole world's out there. We got Francisco's jumping in early. Matias is out here. Nico, hello. Hello.
What's up?
Yeah, so people from around the world, let us know who you are, where you're from, say hi. And if you have questions about, about Rush, about creating social content, anything at all, just fire it off in the chat. I will filter it out if I don't want to answer it. Easy stuff. If you want to answer things, go.
Got it.
Okay, so we're going to be talking about Adobe Rush today, and we have a challenge going on for everyone who's watching. If you've been tuning in for the earlier things, people are working in Rush. They're submitting some things. Today's topic is about animals. If you want to take part in the challenge win a year's subscription to Creative Cloud. That's a big deal. It's a whole year. A year is a long time. But submit those things. Contest details are on Behance Live. If you're watching this on YouTube, which you might be streamed elsewhere, then you should go to Behance Live. You should log in, get in the chat, and then we'll see what you're talking to us about, which is great. We're the last act of the day, but we're going to be here at the same time tomorrow. We're the anchor, so it's all on us, which is great. I'm just adding some more pressure for you.
Trying to pull it together.
That's right. And yes, but we're going to be here at the same time tomorrow. So also, if you miss this, if you've missed other things, all the replays are going to be available. So you can check those out. But without further ado, tell me a little bit about yourself and what you're going to be sharing with us today.
Yeah, so like he was mentioning, I'm a professional skimboarder, but also a content creator. I basically make videos both cinematically and I've done vlog stuff. I've done a lot of like smash cuts and different creative ways to kind of keep people interested, whether it be on Instagram or YouTube. And today I'm going to be editing something that I like to do. It's one of my favorite types of edits, like kind of being my own director and filmer and editor in one. So holding the GoPro around and bringing that around and filming. So I did like a little day in the life filming in California, and I'm going to be editing that up today. Kind of show my style, how I do like transitions and things like that, and what I have fun with when I edit.
It's perfect because I've seen a lot of your work. I really enjoy how you kind of. Watching it, you can lose yourself in the timing of the thing. Like, you just get carried along, and I've watched the same thing like 30 times.
Yeah,
but
that's the fun of it, for sure.
It's very transportative, right? Mm-hmm. And like, your photography is amazing. I love the framing of things, so it's terrific. I think you're doing great work. I mean, we shouldn't undersell your creative collaborator, also in studio with us, guy behind the camera often. If people are watching any of your social medias right now, getting stuff posted up. So another thing to say, let's get some links to your stuff in the chat. Someone else will take care of that. Our producer stepped out for a moment. But the other thing in the chat, get active in the chat because we're going to be giving away some stickers from Sticker Mule as well. Good place to put your brand. Tim's got it. Tim's got your handle. Tim. So there's links and stuff. So get active in the chat and you'll be randomly picked for some stickers. So let's fire up Rush.
All right. Let's make it happen.
See that fabulous loading screen and we'll get into it. So
kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Every time.
Bit of a trip, right?
Definitely. It's one of my favorite beaches, though. It's a lot of fun to skim there. It's in Laguna Beach.
Okay. Mm-hmm. That's your home beach there? It's your local?
Home breaks. Now it is. Yep.
But you're natively from Florida?
Yeah, I'm actually from the east coast of Florida. Melbourne, pretty small town, and not much as far as waves or no mountains or anything there. So living out here for the past 3 years has definitely been a change and allowed me to kind of progress in all different areas of action sports and then creative stuff as well, and working with sponsors and brands and just kind of meeting a lot of inspirational people.
Yeah, coming from humble beginnings. So
it's good times.
Yeah. All right. Oh, shout out to Florida. Alberta likes Florida.
Shout out to Florida.
So yeah. We've got Rush open.
Yep. Got some older projects here that I've been playing around with, working on both vertically and horizontally here. But got a new project we're going to start up. So I work off my hard drive here. So I like to kind of name my hard drives based on how many I use throughout the year. I go through a lot of hard drives,
and
film a lot of
you've
stuff.
destroyed 2 of them, or filled 2 of them?
I'm already on my third or almost 4th hard drive for the year. So,
Interesting.
Yeah, going through, always filming everything that we can. It's always better to film more than less, because coming back, you know, especially if we go on a trip to another country and you're like, oh, well, I can't get that clip again.
Right.
Can't fill that in. Just like, you know, sometimes in California I can fill it in a little bit and refilm, but not when I travel.
Yeah, you're not going to go back to Costa Rica for cover-up footage.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, we need some more B-roll of that. Why don't you go back?
Yeah, it's just not going to happen.
Get back on the plane.
Yeah.
So today we're looking at it like a day in the life kind of thing.
Exactly.
When you go filming, are you planning for certain moments or certain events you want to capture? Talk me through, like, before we jump in and look at the footage you've compiled, I'd love to know your process going into it.
Yeah, so it depends on kind of what type of content I'm trying to make. So if I want to go out there and make something like fun for Instagram, and it's going to be a shortcut like 15, 30 seconds, maybe even 45, sometimes it's fun to just go out there and just plan a day for myself and just bring my GoPro along and see like what I do naturally and just put it, like I have a GoPro mount, so it actually looks pretty ridiculous when I'm out there. I'm sure there's people out there that have like seen me just running around with that in my mouth, but it's fun because you know, while I'm skimboarding and while I'm skateboarding or whatever activity I'm doing, you really don't know what's gonna happen sometimes. You know, even if I'm going for a wave and I'm like, oh, I got this, I just like bail face first. So that's always a fun clip to include as well. I enjoy including a lot of bail clips. I don't if you guys have seen like some of my Instagram content and videos, there's a lot of me falling and stuff like that. I feel like it's super authentic to include like what really happens. And, yeah, it's just all part of the adventure. And so some of them I'm going into completely just like, hey, I have this basis of what I want to film, but then I'm basically just filming whatever I get along the way and remembering based on filming so much that always remembering where to bring transition points and like kind of thinking of the edit as I go along. So I'll get a sick clip and I'll be like, oh, dang, but what if I put that to this and then I do that, and then it's just like spews this whole thing in my brain.
Right.
So that's a lot of fun. But sometimes we go out and we have a full storyline planned out. We have shot lists. We have everything from who we hired as talent to include in the video if it's not just me, whether I'm in front of the camera or behind the camera. So it's really cool, the diversity of what I've been working on as far as projects go.
Awesome.
And a lot of my stuff is not always shown on Instagram or YouTube because I'm working with or for other companies or other influencers.
Right, so when it's a corporate thing, there's going to be a lot more steps. People might want to approve something.
Yeah, exactly. That's always a good time.
They want to get their hand on the ball for some reason.
Got to make the client happy.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, let's get into our stuff today.
Definitely. This is my little folder here where I kind of organize. Always trying to stay organized as far as like the project goes. I organize my adventure here, my logo for possible titles and things like that. The music that I kind of want to use, and then some other clips that I actually got while I was out here in San Francisco, but we'll get to those later.
Right. Could be a day 2 thing. We'll see.
Definitely.
See how far we get.
So, got a lot of clips here from just different things I've done in California. We got some cliff jumping, we got some skimboarding, skateboarding with my dog. This new sport all the skimboarders decided to start trying called pickleball, which is probably not new. I shouldn't say that. If you play pickleball, I apologize.
Look, pickleball is great.
New to me.
My retired aunt plays pickleball. She's amazing at it.
It's one of those things that we just are always just trying to pick up a new sport and just stay active. So, you know, if the waves are bad and don't feel like skating, or I'm coming off of a foot injury, 2 feet injuries.
One on each foot or 2 on the same
one
foot?
On each foot.
Okay.
So it's been cool to kind of just get involved in other sports and stay active if I can't be on my board. So
yeah, you want a lot of like cutting lateral motion if you have a foot injury. That's what I've been told.
Exactly.
I'm not a doctor. But.
Yeah, I don't want to keep that going, so I'm trying to heal. I got some fun stuff, like just things that people would go do, like on a rainy day or a cold day, like jumping in foam pits from this trampoline park. That was a good time. I have some like stand-up paddleboarding, so going out there and like just paddling out in the waves and all that good stuff. So. And
have these clips already been kind of pared down from the larger amount?
Yeah, so a lot of projects that I kind of like go through like a basis of clips, and I'm like watching them one by one, and I'm kind of marking them, and then once I mark them, I can kind of move them into the folder, like an edit folder, and a lot of times I do like to name them.
Yeah.
It just kind of helps when you're editing.
Yeah.
It's not something that I would say that everybody can do on every project, because there's a lot of clips sometimes, and you're like, well, that's just going to double my work time. So for this particular instance, and for also to help you guys see what I'm working on, it helps to just kind of name them.
Perfect.
Yeah, so we basically, like when I'm usually editing, I don't always put everything on the timeline at once. I like to just kind of pick and choose where I want to start and where I think I can kind of just get a flow going, and then we can go from there.
Yeah, and you already have in mind like a kind of length you want to edit to, or the platform we're going to upload it to, like.
Exactly. So, well, the cool thing about this one is, and what I like to also do as well is, you know, you can make a video, for instance, like this in horizontal mode, and I'm going to kind of cut this one more for however long it does come out to and it flows best. So that way we can upload it on YouTube, and then possibly maybe later on in a different live session we can show how I cut it up for Instagram, and also a separate orientation to kind of fit the Instagram square mode and take up more of a screen when people are scrolling on Instagram, because that way your video kind of pops up a little quicker instead of it being horizontal and real small.
Almost 78% more real estate.
Exactly.
That's
the word for it. That's the marketing term for it. I know about that.
You want that attention real estate.
Yeah.
So, yeah, let's get into it.
Definitely. So I made a little intro clip here that I kind of, as like you were saying, do I plan and do I not plan? So for this one, I kind of did a little bit of planning as far as intro, outro, or more of the style that I wanted to do. I wanted to allow this video to have the possibility to loop. Just like you were talking about that video, there's a skimboarding video of me on my Instagram where it's just going under waves and over waves, and you don't really know where it starts and finishes. So I kind of filmed this particular video to have that opportunity to present itself. So in YouTube, I usually don't do a loop, but I'll make a separate cut that's shorter, and then I'll loop it with Instagram. So either the music or the clip, they don't really realize like when it's started over, or it's just more flowy.
Yeah, and you're getting, you're making once, publishing multiple areas, you're getting way more content out of your day.
Exactly.
It's terrific.
Definitely. So I got this van clip here, and it's cool because with Rush, you can kind of like move your mouse over it, and you can kind of see what's coming up next as far as what clips you have here. And I basically want to transition like, from going from one sport to another and really flow that day in the life. So I'm going to pick this intro van here, and then I'm going to pick some surfing clips that I named over here. Also some skating and things like that, just to get the timeline going, and then we can add more clips as we get farther. So we'll get some swimming stuff in there, kind of flows together. Also add in a little bit of some board flips. I also did some skateboarding here in San Francisco when I had time. Funny thing is Jeremy was live earlier, and I think somebody mentioned me skateboarding, and I was actually out skateboarding right when I was walking out the door listening to you guys as I was about to go skateboarding. So worked out well.
Just kind of speculating what you might be up to in the day.
Yeah, you guys were on point. So trying to keep creating.
Yeah.
So it's going to prep all the media here. This is really cool. Nice and quick. It just pops up on my timeline, so I kind of have everything laid out, and I can start to see a basis of where I start. Kind of like this music bar down here. I'm not going to probably use raw audio for this particular edit. I didn't really film it to kind of get that audio.
Right.
So
it's gonna be a lot of that GoPro clunk 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 sound.
Yeah, some of that is really cool, which I can also demonstrate later. But as far as like going underwater and things like that, kind of taking the audio and taking bits and pieces of it to really give that feel, because a lot of the video editing is not so visual, it's also sound. So a lot of times with a transition, I really like to add some sort of sound in there to really get that flow into the next clip and make them feel like they're in it. Even starting the sound like a half a second before the next clip comes, it kind of like jumps them. It's just like you were sitting in a movie theater and the previews are starting right before the movie, and you're like, oh, what's about to happen?
Yeah.
So
that is pro editing tip, guys. Start the audio early. People anticipate the cut, and then you're in it. Less jarring.
Definitely. So we like to expand the audio here, just like that. It kind of shows a little bit more of what we're working with as far as audio goes. And let's move this up here. This is kind of cool to see more of your timeline if you want to, and get a feel for these clips. So we can also click here, and let's see. we'll play this first clip. And what I'm going to do is show how I transition from, or where I choose to start a clip and where I choose to kind of end a clip to give that feel of my style of transition. So I'm just kind of putting on my wetsuit here and I'm grabbing my board, and you'll see the normal raw clip. And then it ends. So now you've kind of seen the behind this. I think this is the first time I've actually shown people
this
what
is how
really
the hot
happened.
dog gets made, guys. This is
So this is our van that we keep a lot of our gear in and we travel with, and I just kind of faked the motion of jumping out. I didn't go anywhere. So this is a great way to show how I would choose where to cut. So I would kind of just play around with it and kind of cut it right there. And you see here how we have another surfing edit where I kind of run out onto the beach here, get my GoPro ready, and then we're running out. Okay, so we're out in the waves and we're paddling. Now, what we want to do, and what I love to like kind of trip people out, is I'll kind of like see where my framing is. And this is where Rush is really cool as well, because for instance, if I just really can't find a seamless transition from the surfboard where the frame of it is here and the next one is up here, kind of weird. Rush allows you, which this particular clip we might not need to do, but it allows you to kind of move this around.
Oh.
And I use that a lot because a lot of times nobody's gonna notice when you're kind of zooming in and framing up. And you wanna like correspond the last clip with the next one as far as the framing of the board and things like that. So when you're going into that next clip, the transition is super seamless. So that's like my trick behind that. For now, we're just gonna kind of get a raw flow, and that's where I start, just to see what it feels like.
A lot of folks are asking, this is all GoPro footage that we're going to be looking at?
This is a GoPro footage, but I actually don't always use GoPro. I use a mixture of different cameras. Like I also use a hit case, which is like a waterproof iPhone lens. There's a new camera coming out soon as well that I will be probably primarily using for a lot of POV called Opkicks, and they haven't been released yet, and that's what I'm really excited about. But I also film on DSLR, and we do a lot of drone work and whatever we can do to really use all of our tools to make it happen.
And it all comes together on the timeline, no problem.
Yeah,
that's great.
Definitely. So it's cool for this particular instance. You guys kind of get a feel of what happens when I don't have a cameraman or I don't have anybody to really help me.
Yeah.
And I've been on a lot of trips like that where I've just been like kind of sent to another country and it's like, hey, come back with an edit. I was like, okay, cool. One person production crew, got this. But it's fun because it's more creative that way, and you can really figure out where you can find those loopholes and make it happen. So we have this little transition here of me surfing, going from the band to surfing here, and you can see how before the next thing kind of happens, it's a little while. So we're just paddling out. So it gets kind of boring, and what I like to do is add music, and I'll add some music here in a little bit, and I like to kind of keep it fast paced in a sense, especially for Instagram, and especially if you're trying to really create that mash cut and like create that action flow. So most of the time I'll take a clip like that and you can even use like Command K, which is great in Rush. It's like a nice easy clip tool. So once I land here and I get a couple paddles in, somebody might be bored of watching me paddle, so I'll go ahead and push K, Command K, and we clip that. Too much
paddle.
Too much paddle. So we'll clip that there, and we can also take this next clip and bring it right before I hit that wave. And the cool thing is you can kind of use your mouse pad, zoom in a little bit to see a little bit better. And I'll cut it right when the water hits, because that allows me to go into another transition. Depending on what I would want to do. So it also, if we watch it in real time here, maybe clip it down a little bit more. And we go back to where we were at. Now we're getting a little bit more of a story flow. And then we go under. Now, the next clip is actually me surfing, and this is kind of cool, and I don't know if any other surfers, snowboarders, or any other like water sports people that film have this issue. But sometimes when we're out there in the water filming with a GoPro or whatever camera you use, the settings can change out of nowhere, and you don't know it because you're like, oh, I'm in the middle of the ocean, here comes a wave. Like the last thing you're worried about is your camera.
You don't have a live feed of what it's capturing.
Exactly. And it's funny that this happened for this particular project because I can kind of demonstrate to you guys what you would do in this instance. So this clip here, as you see, it fills up the whole screen and it's fully, the ratio that we need. And this one kind of went to
normal.
this one cut to like a 4:3 or whatever. And it's just not filling up the screen, and I'm like, oh, well, what do you do here? So this is exactly the time that you would use that transition tool I mentioned earlier. And I can bring the cursor here right to where the water splashes, kind of like right there. And we can tweak that up a little bit later. And it's cool because it'll let you drag that right to that mouse. And it kind of locks it and clicks it in place. Makes it nice and easy. The great thing about Rush is, especially when you're editing quick projects, this is one of those tools that's just like boom, boom, boom. It knows where you kind of want to be, and it allows you to just keep moving.
You're also doing it all with a trackpad, which, as someone who does not like trackpads, like, what is happening?
Exactly.
The interface is allowing quite a bit of flexibility here.
Exactly. It's so great to be able to have like such a clean interface that like I can get stuff done whether I'm on the airplane or because I edit a lot like on an airplane or like if we were traveling, long bus ride or something like that in another country. It's great to like be able to have no mouse and get that done, and being able to work on the trackpad easily with a program like this is super important.
We've got Alberto's asking specifically which GoPro are you using right now?
For this project, I use the Hero 6 and a mix of the Hero 6 and the Hero 5.
Okay.
A lot of times I've also realized that it's not always the camera that you use, it's like the creativity and like what you put behind it.
Yeah.
And because I've been limited to an iPhone before, that's actually how I started editing is when I was sponsored by that particular company, there was just an iPhone case and they challenged me to be, go out there and make a full iPhone video and no real cameras or nothing like that. But the cool thing about that is it just opened my eyes to, okay, this is all I have to work with. How do I make the best out of what I have? And that allows you to open up so much more afterwards, because now when you do have all these tools and things to work with, it's just so much easier and kind of keeps your mind jogging. Oh, well, I've done this in the past and now we can work with that.
Yeah, like some people can take a terrific piece of kit, they don't have the skills behind it, nothing's coming out. Right?
Exactly.
You put a piece of garbage into somebody else's hands, and they're doing wonderful things.
That's the best way to describe it. Yeah,
yep.
Definitely. And so the cool thing about that, now you have two different ways to do this, and you have your transform tool on the right-hand side here where I clicked. This kind of allows you to do it a little more manually without grabbing it with the mouse. And it helps in a lot of different instances. You even have advanced features here that you can kind of play with. And it's really up to you about like how you would want to transition your clips or transform them actually, because if I do this here, it's scaled. And you see it's kind of like taken a lot out. We see this clip. The waves were not that good that day. Sorry. Apologize to any surfers out there. So that's kind of like, I think I have a little more frame to work with. And a lot of times you can come over here and not maintain. So I can Command Z and go back. And I can not maintain proportions. And that kind of allows me to scale myself out a little bit this way. Now, we're looking like I got a real fat foot there. So we can find a happy medium.
I would never foot shame someone like that.
But I think that there's a happy medium where people won't be able to tell.
Yeah.
And for this particular instance, if somebody does tell, I'm going to be like, it's kind of funny that you caught that. That's cool.
How clever are you, viewer?
Yeah. It's funny when people call things out. I mean, I've come from like so many different stages of me learning how to edit where like didn't realize the audio was just way too loud on a clip, and it's like, I'm sorry to all the headphone users out there. I really apologize. Your ears are probably blown.
Yeah.
But that's something that's great about having Rush and having down here that you guys can see this, being able to see where your audio levels are and being able to adjust them just by like the click and going into your audio levels over here, and you can mute them and things like that, because we'll eventually be going to all these clips and muting them, and you can see here it's just nice and easy. And I believe you can even select multiple clicks and mute them at the same time.
Cool.
So that's a good feature that I love using. So for this clip, now we have a full screen, and we can kind of see where we're at with the edit. And now I went from going over a wave to riding a wave. And I just dive into the ocean here. And I will kind of want to stop it after that when I dive into that wave, because that allows me to transition to something else. We can get kind of random here and just let's go from surfing to running with my dog. So this is my little tiger. She's a mountain cur. I don't know anybody else that has a mountain cur. So if anyone else has one out there, please, I want to see a picture.
Or any dog, really. Tell us about your dogs in the chat.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we're doing the animals.
It's Animals Day today.
It's perfect.
And also, get active in the chat, because we see that countdown clock in the corner of your screen, everybody.
Oh yeah, we're getting there.
3 minutes and someone's going to win a whole bunch of custom stickers. So get active, let us know what's up. Tell us about your pets.
Heck yeah.
Yeah. Is that a penny board? What is this?
Oh, so this is it's called a shark wheel board, actually.
Okay.
So the wheels are funny. They're made to go over rocks better. And it kind of looks super gimmicky when I first found out about it. And
were they on Shark Tank?
Yeah, 100%.
Okay. I don't know where I've heard that before.
So a couple of you guys probably have seen it. But yeah, I was like, what is this? I'm like, no. Because kind of like, when you're growing up and you see all these random side companies that come out after you found a cool board, and they're like, what? That's just a side company. But when I tried it, they're like, just get on one. Just get on one. I was like, okay. So I tried it out, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is actually 100% legit. The physics of it and everything, the way that the people behind Shark Wheel made it, it's amazing. So it's actually all, as far as cruiser boards go, and just riding on the streets and stuff, just to surf sessions or whatever, that's all I ride, the Shark Wheel boards. In the skate parks, I ride, normal skate, but these are great for when my dog pulls me way too fast and I hit a rock and I don't want to go down.
Yeah, you have less than ideal asphalt out there.
Oh, so. Yeah, exactly. So we try to avoid that with that skateboard. So yeah, we can kind of see what I filmed here with the pup, and let's see. Let's find a transition point so we can kind of watch it. She likes to pull me really fast and then get tired. So I'm like, okay, so you really wanted to run earlier, and now you're not going fast enough. So we'll see. We'll find a nice happy medium here, where possibly we can find a transition point. And I believe we have one coming up. I think it might actually be. The cool thing is you can see how I can go back. And
it's just pushing the rest of the timeline back.
Yeah, that's the great thing about it, is I can kind of go back there. I believe I can even, let's mute this audio too. And we can kind of see where, there we go. So we have a little transition right here where my arm covers. So we find that. And then we can try and find an out point. Maybe right here. And so we can Command K, nice and easy. Let's see if it lets me. Or we can bring it all the way down. 2 different ways to do it. Like that. Pull that audio just so it matches. Cool. So now we can kind of see where we are.
And someone in the chat is asking about importing soundtracks and music, which is, I think, coming up once we've got the line edit down, I suppose. I can
actually, it's kind of cool to get couple clips together flowing, and then I'll throw some music on there and just see what the pace is. Kind of get a feel for the vibe of it, and then every once in a while, which I would like to even possibly demonstrate with this project, is we'll put a track in here, and we'll see by the end of the video if I actually like the track and if we need to switch it out, because it's a part of the creative process. Sometimes I get to the end of an edit and I'm like, dang, I really like this edit, but there's something off, and I can't figure anything out about it, and I just changed the song for fun, and I'm like, wow.
Yeah. I've been editing this for 1,000, I've seen it 1,000 times. I hate that song now.
Yeah, it's completely scrapped, weird. Yeah, it's a mess. But it's great, because at the end of it all, you're like, wow, it's either way, no longer how long it takes you to get to that point. It's cool once you're there, and you're like, if I wouldn't have possibly had that other song that I didn't like on there, would I have even put this timeline together?
Yeah. Speaking of getting places, we're now at the chat and win time. brightest countdown has ended. We're at fireworks. So our random bot will choose someone who's very active in the chat. So go ahead, tell us where you're from. Tell us about if you're surfing, skateboarding, what do you do out there? What are you looking to capture footage of in your lives? For those asking what's chat and win, you're going to win 100 custom stickers from Sticker Mule. These are beautiful die-cast stickers. You just punched out. You upload your custom branding, your logos, whatever you want to use, and then you can go put them on stuff. So it's easier than graffito tagging things for people who are unartistic with spray cans. Don't do that. That's vandalism. But
no, don't do it.
Put your stickers on stuff. And if you have a social channel, then your fans would probably like to put your logo on stuff too. But yeah, some lucky person will be chosen. And we're back. All right, one person is going to be very, very lucky here as the bot works through. Loving these fireworks. These are terrific. But so with these transitions, I'm really interested to see how the music is going to shape the stuff. But
yeah, definitely.
The bot is still working. The name is coming up. All right, it is Tabera Almore. Awesome.
Yeah.
That's terrific. Congratulations.
Congrats.
It's great. Enjoy those. Print them out. Stick them on things.
Stick them everywhere.
Yeah. Actually, Sticker Mule does the printing and the cutting. All you have to do is peel them and stick them on things. The worst part is die punching stuff. It's very annoying. It's a real craft nerd over here, so we'll just move it back to cooler things.
No, I like crafts. Arts and crafts are great. I wish I was better at them. Yeah, I think so. So we left off here like with the flow and where we're at, and now we can kind of see where to, and you can kind of see a little tweaking here and there, pulling it back down to where that exact transition part is. Because a lot of times I've seen a lot of different options with transitions, and if you kind of hold the transition too long, it almost kind of kills it. So I've learned to, like, over the years, just get rid of frame by frame and be a little more conservative about like how I do that transition, just nice and quick and easy.
And on social videos, if it's going to be 45 seconds long, every frame counts.
Oh yeah. I think that's the craziest thing about when Instagram got so popular, and just trying to fit that. When videos first came out, it was only 15 seconds, and I'm just like, okay. So, clip, 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 clip.
Yeah, that's quite a format to work in.
Yeah. So it actually kind of shaped the way that I edit now, in a sense, because it was like a challenge. It was cool to try and fit everything in there and try and make it loop. And now it's just kind of extended outwards to where I'm making longer videos and things like that.
Creative constraints.
Yep.
Single camera, single output.
Yep.
15 seconds. It's a challenge.
Oh yeah. And as you guys saw right there, there's that transition going from random surfing to dogs. So now we have some clips here where I'm like swimming in the water, and I have two different options where we go underwater and we're swimming here, or this one where I kind of go under this way. And this is another thing certain cameras, not just the GoPro, like to do, is film upside down. The iPhone will do this to you as well. Gotta love Rush for this one, because we can just do this. And if you want to do it on the side, it's almost even easier. You can just take the rotation here, and you can just pull it just like that. And as you saw, you can go both ways. And you can just flip that screen right around, and now we're back in business. I think this clip might be a little too long for the vibe I'm looking for, so I can always just click on it here and just delete it, but I can always find it back over here and go through some stuff, and I can always add more clips as well.
Oh yeah, and Voodoo Val in the chat, good to see you there. Just 26 minutes until the final challenge deadline of the day. So if you want to win that year's subscription to Creative Cloud, go download Rush, start getting videos, pictures of animals, edit something together, send it to us. Use the link to WooBox. That's everything's going to be in the Behance challenge section. If you're watching this on YouTube, jump over to behance.com/live so we can see you chatting, and so you can get the contest details, submit the stuff, and we can enjoy seeing your works. Want to see a lot of animos.
Same. Love it. So if we do this transition, for instance, we'd want to kind of cut right where the water kind of starts to go under. We don't want to start here because then you're going to know what's going to happen. It's a great face. And then we don't want to start there because then you're like already into it. We want to go to that happy medium point where you don't really know what's going on, so it feels flowy. And I kind of go into the water there and I come back up. So this is great, guys. I'm loving this.
This is it's an exercise in humility, you know?
Gotta love it. And there's just another option. You know, we have different funny little clips of like me swimming, and you know, some of them just don't always work the right angles of how I want to flow. So, because this one here, it goes into my arm, and then you see it starts from above the water and goes down. This one, we're already starting underwater. So it's a little harder to kind of find that transition because it feels more like a cut. So if I just show you guys that example, if I were to delete that and play this, and there's an example of where I can zoom in and make that transition even more seamless, because we don't want that those extra frames after I cover. We want like right about here. And as you see, it's not very flowy. It just feels random. So we can go back twice, undelete that clip. We won't use this clip for now. We'll delete that. Zoom in on this and delete those frames one more time. Real close. Let's say right there and try it out. And there you go. So you have a little more of a seamless transition when you're using those frames properly.
That's interesting. Dana Pride is asking, she started a project in Adobe Clip. Can I finish it in Rush? Adobe Clip was an older version, like an older streamlined version of Premiere. I'm not sure whatever became of it.
Yeah, I actually have heard of it. I never used it though. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it kind of came and went, I think. It wasn't, yeah, because Rush is, so somebody might think, oh, it's just a redo of Clip. Rush is a whole new architecture, a whole new stuff. It's cross-platform. Everything's brand new. It's from scratch, so it's a whole new thing.
Yeah, it's really cool too. I used to edit on, or I kind of learned on, dabbled with iMovie, but then I also learned on Final Cut because I didn't really realize like how cool the Creative Cloud was and things like that, and kind of like fell into that. And then when I started using Premiere and then Rush came out, it's cool because the interface of, I like the real seamless interface of Final Cut being like easy, but then I really like all the features of Premiere, and that was like way more professional. And then this here is kind of like allowing the user to have like the kind of like quick professional features, but very easy user interface. So it's like you're not as like scared to start editing if you've never edited before. And even though like I've edited a bunch, I sometimes put all my clips on a timeline, sit in front of my computer, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm terrified.
What have I done to myself?
Yeah, because it's overwhelming. You see, like, especially, you know, whether you've edited a million things or not, or, you know, it's your first time, it's just tough to see all that stuff, and it's like a puzzle, you know, like how do you put that puzzle together?
Right, and if you don't know the picture is on the top of the box,
yeah,
how are you going to get there?
Exactly, and that's kind of what you see that I'm doing here, is I'm taking all these pieces from a puzzle and seeing how they could fit together. And really, to be honest, I could take these transitions and I can move them around later on, but now I've kind of have a baseline of like, okay, this one is an in point and out point here, and then I can find something after that. And that's where I can start getting into like more, like there's some skimming clips here that we can see. But I'd like to kind of show the vibe maybe and get some music going on this.
So how would we, we'll have to hook up some sound here.
Yep, we can do that prior to adding that music clip.
So we go to system settings and then we go to sound. Beep. Oh no, I just touched the screen with my finger. I'm an asshole. Yep.
Cool. Sweet. We can test it here with this even.
It is not playing.
Might not be a loud clip. We can actually try that audio really
Yeah.
quick, and then test it out.
See how it goes.
Add media is right here on the left side. You can just add some more if you didn't already pick it.
Yeah, so if you come back later with other clips you want to throw in.
Yeah, and also you guys can just do this too. Like, a lot of people like to work from their Finder. I do as well. It's just kind of habit. And I have that same folder that you saw when I first started my project. Same folders are here, and I can just click on music. That's where I have it. And I can drag and drop that nice and easy like that.
All right, right into the timeline.
Quick and simple.
The waveform's already there.
Yeah, that's what I like to just have, you know, easy ways to just do stuff like that and just keep moving, not mess up your, you know, train of thought, and now I can see if it's working.
It's interesting because like full Premiere has to conform everything on the timeline, right? That was just right away. So
yeah.
good.
This was super simple. So we can see if this audio is working.
Let's go back to the sound settings real quick.
Yeah.
We'll just see what's up with those. Sound output. Yeah, internal speakers built in. Weird. How strange is this?
Input is correct.
Output volume high.
Let's make sure it's not going through my Bluetooth speaker. I did have my headphones around.
Someone's hearing it from the headphones.
But let's try it again real quick. Let's see. Seems like it's playing.
Leaning in very close. Cause you can see it in the audio bars. There's something coming
and you can see like what's playing through there and all that good stuff. Like, you can move this around and kind of find, like, I like to start at where before the beat drops, and you can even see it without. That's one cool thing the Rush has. I'm not even listening to this music, and I can see where the beats are.
Right.
Because
if you're editing this on an airplane or in an office where someone would not like to hear the song.
Exactly. Like, here's a little section there that you could just, oh, I see it. Here's where it starts. Here's where the beat comes up, and da-da-da, and then down. So, yeah, let me see if we can maybe...
While you investigate audio, I'll remind people about the challenge today. Download Rush, get your clips put on the timeline, and export it. Send the link to the WooBox link that's available at Behance Live. Check out the challenge tab there, and get it all put into our gallery, and we will get to enjoy checking them out. We've got a few submissions here, and we're going to figure out after the stream which one is the winner, and tomorrow we'll be announcing it, so you have to show up bright and early tomorrow, find out if you're a winner, and we'll get you a year subscription to Creative Cloud, which will be quite wonderful. You can do a lot of things in a year, so.
Yeah, Creative Cloud subscription is super important.
It comes with a lot, like, it's a lot. There's a lot of tools there. You get Rush, full Premiere in there. Well,
yeah.
I shouldn't say full. It's not like Rush is lesser Premiere. It's like it's the stay-at-home Premiere.
Yeah, or on the go.
Right, because Rush has the mobile version as well, which could be using it from your phone. I don't know. Any thoughts on the sound?
I guess maybe try turning up Bluetooth.
Yeah, that was my first. Yeah, maybe that might help.
How weird is that?
Super weird. I promise, guys, it's really a song.
I blame the laptop. Well, other than audio stuff.
I blame the laptop too.
Yeah.
Let's make sure that maybe I have another version of the song somewhere in another folder. And downloads.
And let's see what's going on in the chat here. If anybody has any questions in the chat, do let us know. And we're here for, let's see, yeah, we're going to be in here for another 45 minutes. It looks like. So let us know. Oh, is anyone going to be demoing the mobile version of Rush? Should we jump on the phone tomorrow? Maybe plan to make that happen.
Yeah,
could do.
Show.
Be worth doing, because if you're going to be capturing any footage here in San Francisco, it'd be good to have a look at how it looks on the phone.
Yeah, definitely.
Good to hook up. So yeah, definitely tune in tomorrow because we're here tomorrow at the same time, and we're also here Thursday, same time, and all throughout the day. So Jeremy's back tomorrow morning, and Amy after that, and then we're back after that. So
Yep.
all day, every day.
All day, every day, editing.
Well, see, I was going to ask you that too. Like, you're a professional athlete. You're doing a lot of videography. So it feels like that's a lot of hours out of the day. Like,
Definitely.
How do you fit it all in? I guess.
Yeah, it's finding the balance is really key. Like, especially like for instance, like right now I've been traveling a lot and doing a lot of activities, and basically always trying to find when's the best time to take advantage of being active and take advantage of actually filming versus editing. So a lot of times when I'm traveling a lot, I'll be stacking up on that content and really taking advantage of those opportunities where like I'm super invested in the actual filming part of it and things like that, and I may be getting home super late and waking up sunrise, filming again the next morning. And that's where I'll be more invested in the filming part of it, and then I'll kind of gather and get back and start editing. But it's cool because some days, I'll wake up and edit, for a few hours in the morning, get a skim session in, even film during the skim session, come back, and maybe I got like one of the best waves I've gotten in a while, and I'm like, oh, this is something new to edit. And so I can either add that to something I was working on, like a project, or I can do a quick little Instagram video or YouTube or whatever. So finding that balance is really key to kind of staying on track. But being an athlete in any sense really influences me as a creator, and then vice versa. Because if I go out for a skim session and Patty's filming me and I get a good wave, I go home and I look at it and it just inspires me more to create. I'm like, oh wow, that was sick, and it was really cool when I was getting it, and it's like it just goes both ways.
You're a YouTuber. You're probably
Now there's sound coming out of it.
I think it's Rush. We might have to restart.
Oh.
Cool.
We'll turn it off and on again.
I promise it was working earlier.
Audio's working.
We heard it.
So
Yeah.
I'd suggest let's save.
Cool.
So someone's asking if there are going to be Rush extensions to download. I'm not sure if there are like plugins and extensions going on. Like it's very new. This is the first year that Rush is out. So there may be an infrastructure that builds up over time. But with things like Premiere and After Effects, the third-party marketplace is quite robust from years of people finding a need and creating something to fill that need. So it's tough to say. But yeah, Paco's on the case. They're figuring it out. So
Paco's the man.
yeah.
Well established. I'm gonna try and pull it right in right now.
Okay.
But yeah, it's interesting you talk about sort of finding balance and how important that is, but also it sounds like just being flexible and allowing yourself to have the space to do those things.
Exactly.
Like, do you have a rigid output schedule that you need to keep up with?
I haven't really kept to like, this many videos here and there, because I want to make it almost more authentic. And a lot of times I'll be in skim season and there'll be a competition coming up, or just events that like so happen. Sometimes I'll find out that I'm being going out to an event, only a week before it happens. And in that case, like you said, being flexible is the key, because now I'm gonna change up like what video is coming out when, and like where I put my focus here. And I put a lot of focus into like quality over quantity now, as far as like what I'm putting out there, and really trying to inspire people through like, okay, wow, that person actually took a lot of time to think through that, and kind of like that, those jump cuts where it's looping and things like that, and they don't even realize they're watching it again. It's like, it's cool to inspire people through that way, where I actually put the time to like think through that and really think about how they're going to, take in this media and like how they're going to feel about it. So I do a lot. Like I think about like the other end, like, all right, what is this person going to like feel when they watch this, and like what's the vibe, and it's cool. It's fun. That might be the marketing side, but.
Go ahead and open it up.
That's true, because you do have a formal marketing background as well, right?
Yeah, I got my degree back in 2011 at UCF in marketing and digital media. So I thought I was going to be doing a lot more of like logo design and things like that, but got right into working now. Cool.
We have sound.
I think we have sound, but
Nailed
let's
it,
make sure we
guys.
have music too. We do.
We've got it all. We have all the
We're
sounds.
back on track.
All right.
So let's see where we left off. And we have those audio levels that we can expand again.
And Jasper is asking about, is it easy to animate some typography over the clips? Maybe we'll get into that in a little bit.
Yep.
I also want to remind people, the challenge deadline is coming up. 9 minutes and 30-some seconds, so hammer that export button, make it happen, and get your submissions in. We have some really cool things in here. I want to see a lot of people's pets. I want to see clips of your pets.
Same here.
I'm going to just text my wife to go film my dog.
Definitely. I don't have any more pet clips for you guys, unfortunately, in this edit, so I have to break that to you. But I did find another transition, though, by just skimming through this. There's a random clip of me not getting a wave because it didn't work out for me, but I fell into the water, and there's a cool little clip of me going under, kind of grabbing my board and like throwing it. And I like to do like little fun stuff, like lifestyle stuff like this, just to kind of throw in. And, you know, every once in a while I don't use it, even if I cut it and I keep it in the timeline. But it's good to have as part of the puzzle to kind of see what you can do with it and where you can go.
Anel is asking, is that a master's or bachelor's from UCF?
I have a bachelor's from UCF. I thought about going back for my master's, but that was actually when Instagram and everything came out, and I was just really focused on like entrepreneurship, and I owned a skateboarding company in the past and I had a marketing business in Florida, and we were working with a lot of clients and helping their Instagrams grow and really just building other brands. And when I realized that, you know, I can kind of start to build my own brand, and that was where my passion kind of lied and how I inspired people and just little projects that I had in mind. I decided that just to kind of focus on my career and kind of teach myself more. And I was learning a lot by everything. I was kind of just getting out there and, you know, trial and error, basically. There were so many times that I would film something and be like, whoa, why? But, it's all the learning process. So good times.
Formal education is good, but real-world experience is, you can't beat it. So.
Yeah, I don't ever think that like somebody should have to go to college or this or that. You know, it's really all about, you know, your experience in general, whether that be work experience, college experience, or your own personal experience that has taught you and brought you to where you are now, and really just kind of shaped who you are and your character. And that's kind of how I feel like we all influence each other, is we all have our own characters that we like, you know, and people like we are who we are, and that really being real about it is what really inspires other people, because we're all just people and all not out there like, you know, every time I go out on a trip, I'm not like sitting on the edge of a pool like, Instagram model, you know, like, you know, the moments that we do catch on camera, you know, they're hard to get, and, you know, there's always a story behind that cool photo that looks like it's so peaceful. But that's the beauty in it, is trying to make something, like, create a reaction or a mood out of something, you know, that maybe it was tough to get, but we pulled it off. And it's really fun to do that in a lot of different trips, and Costa Rica was one of them too, where we stayed in this crazy house, and it was really fun to like get some cool pictures where there was like an infinity pool at the end of a mountain, and that was where I really felt like I was like, dang, I'm staging this. Kind of like, you guys can totally call me out if you find that photo on my Instagram, call me out right now, comment on it. But it was just cool because it tells a story. You know, if you kind of stage it right, get the lighting right, it's like a mood, and I like kind of creating that, and that's what I do with my videos as well, is try and create a feeling and a vibe from it.
That's cool. I dig it. That's terrific. I think a lot of people might be just making content to make it, but when you have intentionality, it gets, you know,
You gotta have purpose.
Yeah, you need purpose in what you're doing.
Yeah, always trying to find purpose. I think that's what a lot of us are seeking in a lot of different parts of our lives. Whether it be personal, business.
It's getting very deep here today. That's terrific.
Yeah.
So let's press on here.
So we got this skateboarding clip here is like pretty fast. It's me like going around. This is in Orange County, so I can see how I grab the camera in different ways. So these type of clips, there's not as many transition points where you see back here where I was kind of covering the camera, and it's like an obvious transition, like, oh, this covers the camera and this covers the camera. This here is more of just flowy, like, okay, well, how do I transition from this personal, like, here's where my person is, and I need to go into a next clip without feeling weird. So I need to choose a point. So for this clip, for instance, I'm probably gonna choose where I grab the camera and I turn it around, because it's kind of like a quick jump, and it makes the user feel like that kind of that same feeling of when you are covering the camera, but it's like a really fast motion. So I can use that to kind of create a transition to something else. And now, as we see here, we'll just kind of slow this down or cut this down a little bit shorter. These clips don't make any sense. So that doesn't go. So now we just like need to get to, we have like our basic timeline, and we need to get to more of like the clips that are gonna fit through there and like kind of build that storyline a little better. And we can kind of get the vibe of how this starts with the music.
Hopefully people can pick it up on the mics.
Yeah.
I think so. People will let us know if they can.
Okay, yeah, let us know if you can't hear this. But
we're on a mild chat delay, but
yeah.
we'll get to it.
As you see here, it's kind of slow on that part, so I didn't really find a good part of the song yet to really get a feel from it. And you can kind of play through the song over here and kind of get a feel where we're at. And let's see. Here's a drop. So that's a little drop there, so you can see the vibe starting to change. And I can even command K right here in the music and cut that. And now that's selected, I can just delete that. Nice and simple.
Jeremy's letting us know he can indeed hear it on.
Thank you, Jeremy. You did so good.
Jeremy's sticking around on the chat. Loving it.
Jeremy's supporting the team.
Yep.
He went first, so I give him so much credit.
Yeah, you gotta feel for anyone who jumps first. That's.
Oh yeah. This is now we're kind of seeing right here. I don't know if you guys can see that, but in the audio we have that little dip, and that's kind of where we're showing the drop. And now I can kind of zoom in here, or zoom out, and get it a lot more closer to where I would want it as far as the transition goes. So we want to kind of, what's fun is to kind of put a drop right where you would expect, like, whoa, like what the heck just happened? So it also, the sound goes with the feeling of the visuals. So we can test this out. So there you go. We got it like kind of close, and we can always tweak it up a little bit if it's, you know, you can do this. And that's a little better. And like what you were saying as far as the vibe of like where to cut and the music, another cool thing about seeing the levels here is you see those drops. Like here's one here.
Right.
Here's a hit here.
You can visually see some of the end points.
Mm-hmm. And you can really just start to like cut your clips or try and make it fit in that way. So we would want to probably stop right there, and I can just push the space bar, and now I have like the line there, and I can just right there, just like that, and clip and lock that right in. So the cool thing about that is another easy way to edit fast and know where. So now we're seeing how it's going a little bit better with the beat and when it hits each clip.
Yeah, the audio makes the visuals more compelling.
Mm-hmm. So as you saw there, that transition actually wasn't very smooth, so I can take it and right when I jump in, so I jump, here's my hands, and we want to stop it probably even right there. Test it out. And there we go. And now we hear a little bit of GoPro.
Yeah.
So that's what the type of audio for GoPro that, or like anything as far as like whatever camera you're using where you have cool audio that will just kind of add to the feel of the video or the storyline to kind of keep it in. And it goes with the background music. As you can hear, I'm kind of underwater.
Yeah. What some might call diegetic sound. That's for all you film nerds out there.
Yep. And yeah, so I like to keep a couple of them in there. And now that we kind of got a good flow, we got a little vibe for like how we're feeling this song and everything like that, we can start to add a little more clips and keep on that same wavelength of adding clips about this or that length and go from there. Kind of get into that habit of going to our count, like adding it in from here to
Also, I have to go air horn challenge submission deadline.
Let's do it.
We've hit it. So we'll let all the gallery stuff get compiled here for a couple minutes, but let's press on with the edit. I just wanted to let people know that the deadline is expired.
Yeah.
I don't get to blast the air horn often, so.
So let's pull this back open here and look at what we got as far as clips go. And so we have all of our assets on the side here, and we can add even, just go ahead and click all of these from my adventure folder and add them in there. And the cool thing what Rush does too is it kind of shows you what you already had and you didn't have. And that's not something that I'm used to seeing on any other program, and that really helps because now I don't get a little lost. And you could just go ahead and pop these right into your timeline right now, or you can just click away from some of them and kind of just see what you'd be interested instead.
Yeah, and so Christian here is asking, Rush is working off the cloud, what if you have poor bandwidth? You can take a project on and offline, right? Whether you sync or not?
Yeah, I've worked on a lot of stuff actually offline because I was on like an airplane and stuff like that. So it's pretty diverse. It works with everything.
Yeah, so you just got to make sure if you are asking your computer to sync, then you do want the bandwidth to be on. But if you know you're in a bad bandwidth situation, ask it to not sync. And
exactly.
Don't ask the computer to do things it won't want to do.
There you go. So I'm gonna find a couple more clips here that work. I'm seeing some cliff jumping. I have some drone clips to show you guys later on as well, and how I can take a vertical clip and adjust it for a horizontal video, because there's a couple really cool clips that I filmed for a project that was fit for vertical, but I would like to use them in a project for horizontal. And the cool thing about filming in like 2.7K or 4K is you're able to kind of crop and not sacrifice as much quality.
Yeah, you get a lot more freedom to frame in post.
Exactly.
It's, when you have the GoPro stuck to yourself, you don't really know what you're looking at all the time.
Yep.
But while you cue that up, I guess we'll have a look at the gallery and see what treats await us in here. We'll see. Starting from the end here, we've got. All right, creative challenge. Some buffaloes. Little text in there.
These guys are cool.
Some cutting on hits here. A couple of those.
I like the vibe music.
I don't often think of buffaloes as having swagger, but now I do.
Oh yeah, these guys are styling.
They're wearing fur coats all the time.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Digging it.
That's some lovely branded sting at the end. Awesome. All right, so that's one entry. Good. Let's see, what do we got next? Oh, here's a fun doggy. Let's have a look at that. Some puppers.
That's amazing.
That one's going to work.
I need to get a tie for my dog.
Yeah, Halloween's tomorrow, guys. Come on.
Gotta get her set up.
All these dogs are at work.
Oh my gosh. really cute. Are we judging on cuteness factor or editing?
I'm not sure. We'll take that conversation offline, but
That's tough. That's awesome. I think all these are great.
there are a lot of factors that go into judging. Oh, we got some text on screen coming up. Dogs plus life equals happiness. So I think that's very true. All right, we'll see. Oh, we've got a lot of use of the Adobe stock elements, which is great. There's compelling footage out there. Wonderfully rendered pile of deers.
That's awesome. Pile of deers.
Everybody loves a point cloud. Oh, we have some facts. Some deer facts.
That was a good shot.
I didn't have enough time to read the fact.
I know. Gotta work on my reading skills.
You want to be able to read it twice before you take it off the screen. All right. Now some animals. Oh, we have some more animals. This is like a slideshow. I was hoping to see more animals. I don't think this one is animal-centric. Oh, that's an animal. That's a fish. It's a... I feel like the lack of animals was a little depressing. Maybe that's the message.
Yeah.
There's a lot of environmental decay. There's no animals.
A lot of environmental decay.
No, sorry, that was a bummer. I did bummer. All right.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, this is some home movies. I like this.
Oh my god. Winston.
Yeah, this is Winston by MC Swainer here. Now, if I had to say, this is a good chance to think about if you're going to cut more out of it.
Yep.
Only have the hits, right?
Yep.
No. It is tough filming animals, right?
It is very tough.
You know the old adage, never make a movie with animals or kids.
Yep.
That's the
I almost ate it every time my dog started trying to chase a squirrel when I was skateboarding. It was really scary.
That'll take you off-road. That's
Definitely
an oopsie.
scary.
Have to say, oh, there's still a whole minute of Winston left.
Winston is a star.
That's true. Very easily distracted. Carrot, rhino, carrot, rhino. I don't know. Just attack the camera? That's something. Really going after the camera.
He looks like he could be a very comfortable rug.
It's a bit small, but yeah.
Right. His hair, though, is amazing.
What kind of dog do you think that is?
It looks like a mix between, like a Yorkie and something.
Maybe a
A
doodle?
Yorkie and a rug.
Yeah, a Yorkie and a rug. It's a Yorkie rug.
Perfect mix. So that way it's really cuddly.
Mm-hmm. The accordion really drives it. This is an accordion.
I know, honestly,
piece.
that sealed it. I can't say I would have chose a better clip. Better track.
Oh, now we've got some framing change. Yeah, there we go. Okay.
Yeah, Winston.
Is that all the new ones? Do you know?
Yeah, we've seen the last two.
Oh, jeez. Yeah. Well. All right. So that's all the new ones reviewed. We nailed it. Let's get back into the regular show. We still got about 20 minutes hanging out here. So we will announce the winner. We will announce, who is getting that year of Creative Cloud. That's going to be coming up tomorrow morning, bright and early. So tune in tomorrow morning to find out. It could be you, only if you submitted a video. So there you go. But we got 9 entrants, so check it out. And new challenge tomorrow. New content tomorrow. Be learning more about Rush, using Rush more. So I'll be back on in the morning. See you again in the afternoon, and Amber and Amy is in the middle. So we'll get more of that tomorrow. But for now, let's see what's up here. Oh, trampoline park.
Trampolines, editing some stuff.
Is this perhaps where you got your foot injury?
Absolutely not, but it sounds like a place that I could get a foot injury because my foot gets stuck in between the trampoline. That would be my luck. But
banned. All athletes banned from trampoline park.
It's very dangerous. There's a lot of liability stuff going on. So I got some other clips narrowed down for you guys. And I think we left off where I was showing you that that skate clip. Let's zoom in here a little bit. Let's see what we got. Nope, I think it's back this way. Okay. So we got lots of clips here, so trying to figure out where I was at.
This timeline is really expanding.
Yeah, it's definitely pretty large now. It's like, oh my gosh, stop adding things. So let me find where we left off with that skate clip. Here's me about to jump off a little cliff. And here's another clip that's upside down, I believe. So we can go ahead and take care of that, because that can look kind of weird until nobody wants to see anything upside down. There we go.
Unless for artistic purposes.
Yeah. So here's another clip of me skimboarding. I like to do this type of transition as well. So I'm going to pull this down here, and we're just going to get this ready for a little transition. We'll trim it down so it doesn't take up too much space. I like to do that just to kind of condense everything, make it look a little more clean. And that's right, we have the skate clip that was back over here. Accidentally added. So wherever you kind of leave your mark and then you add more clips, it adds it right there. So you can kind of remember that. And I accidentally left my mark like right before this clip, and that's why it ended up at the end. So you can easily pick this up here and drag it back to where we left off, which is probably around right here. Yeah, and we're not necessarily, like, I'm not going to use that clip after that per se, but it's cool to have it like a starting point. And I was talking about how to transition basically from holding the camera like this and making it look like I'm going into my next scene a little more seamlessly. So I found a clip that I edited, or that I filmed here, and I was holding the camera the same way, but I was skimboarding. So what I'll do is I'll pull this clip to here, and I'll kind of play around with how it looks if I were to put this clip over here. And okay, it's right here. Sometimes you have to zoom in to make sure you can grab it, because it's, when you have a lot of clips on the screen, it's definitely gonna look small. So we have this, and you can see here how I'm flowing almost from left to right, but this is going, like, the start is from over here. So what I would want to do is I would want to take this clip, bring it back to, zoom in a little bit, bring it back to where I'm at a very similar, like, form. So kind of like here, and this is not necessarily always, like, I don't find it right away. So remember where I changed the camera around right here? And you can see how it's already starting to flow. And if you want to, like, sometimes I'm not going to be editing to the beat and really tweaking that down, so I want to mute this for now. So a lot of times I'll just come over here and, like, kind of mute it for a second, and so I can focus and think about my transition more. And you can see here how we're trying to form a little transition based on that. And if you don't find it, you know, you might have more of a clip to work with, and you can kind of use this and see how Rush shows you where we're at. That's really helpful.
You're getting that nice two-up trim look. It's something that for anyone who used to edit back on things were on reels and you had to work with 2 tape decks. This is what it looked like.
Totally. This is, and also a little trick, don't think I showed you guys, but you can edit, so your computer, if it's not gonna be working like fast, if you have like an older computer, you can edit in preview low quality, is what I'm doing right now, but you can also edit in high quality if you want to see it more of the quality that's gonna be at. I've been editing in low quality, just to keep the flow a little easier.
Right.
And then when I want to review it a little better, I'll change that up as well.
Or if you're doing some color correction or something that you got to see every pixel.
Exactly. So we've been editing on that. I just wanted to make sure you guys saw that. And I'm gonna cut this clip here. I may go back and change it, but I can cut this one a little bit more on that side, where we're kind of in the same motion. And that's gonna happen pretty quick. So if I wanna like do something like this, you can see here how it all happens so fast. So that's where you kind of gotta like use your puzzle pieces to be like, all right, well, I'm gonna put that there for now because it's kind of like putting like items together and putting pieces in a bunch.
You almost need a couple more to fill out the sequence.
Exactly. And for instance, for this type of video where I just went out and I did a lot of activities and I just filmed everything that I did, I have a lot of scenarios where I go back and I'm like, oh wow, I didn't see that moment last time. And the great thing about having your library here on the left side is you can really go through and be like, well, I'm searching for one more moment that can kind of fill this space, and you can kind of flow through, as you see I'm doing on the left side. And did I miss something? Like, there's a wave coming up here, and I put my hand up. So maybe I'm gonna remember that spot where my hand goes up like that, and then it goes underwater, because there's another transition. So a lot of times I'll look at that, and that's another way for me to kind of put stuff together. And later on, if I'm not feeling it. It's all part of the process with that. Like I'll put stuff together and I'm like, this doesn't look good, but I know it'll come together later. And
you have to be comfortable like switching lanes. Oh, this tactic isn't working out. Let's try something new.
Exactly. And as you see here, this is slowing it down as I review it, just so I can see what I'm doing. And I'm doing that motion where I'm dropping my board and I'm jumping on it. So I'm gonna leave that there, and I have another clip to show you guys that I put on the timeline while we were looking at cute puppies.
That's multitasking, everybody.
Oh yeah, cute puppies definitely was being seen though. Let's see. I have it over here. That's a funny face too. It's like that.
When you capture every moment, you're gonna have some funny faces.
Oh my gosh, that's literally mid flip, like I'm about to get like before you fall in the water, you're like so bad.
Yeah, just subconsciously gripped by fear, even if you've done it so many times.
Realism. And this clip I'm going to show you guys actually just filmed this morning when Jeremy was live. And I'm going to pull it here because I was checking out my clips, and every once in a while I'm like, that would be really cool to do that transition. So we had that transition that we played around with over here that we might not use right here, but when I see this one that I showed you guys, I'm going to take this clip I filmed this morning, I'm going to put it right here in front of that, and I did something kind of cool where I took the skateboard, let's clip it down right here, took the skateboard, revealed, and I ran and I jumped on it. So that's just a basic clip of me going for a little skate down in San Francisco. So I'll clip this right here. And I have that skimboarding clip. Let's zoom in a little bit. Right here. And you can get even more close to those frames.
Even more zooming, more zooming.
Just like that. And if you see my Instagram, one of my last little fun videos like that, I did this sort of transition as well. So now you can kind of see like the behind the scenes of how that goes down. And this is a transition that we can also use from going underwater, like I explained. I found that one clip. So lots of different options there.
Eric is asking, are these the raw clips from the GoPro, or are they proxies?
Oh, these are the raw clips?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is the full stuff. It's the real thing.
Yeah, actually, I didn't do anything ahead of time, so that way it's super, this is it. Yeah, real time. Like, these clips are actually filmed in 60 frames, so that they could be slowed down in the future if you did want to use it for a project that you slow it down. You know, if Russia offers that feature in the future, we'll be able to do that as well. So it's pretty cool.
Send in those feature requests, guys. Keep bothering the team.
Slow motion. And there you go. So I went from skimming, underwater, skating, and on my skim. So it's kind of cool to keep afloat, and actually I could stop it there, and if I wanted to, I could find another skate clip and kind of transition that onto a skateboard as well.
Just keep going back and forth between the two.
Yeah, and that's how a lot of times with the music, if we pop the music back in there, we can get a feel for where we're at as far as the vibe and make sure it's like the right speed, tempo of like the flow. And there you go. So that's that little transition. And that is kind of like if you want to even get more nitty gritty, you can see, and it's hard to show you probably because you can't see me pointing at my screen, but you can point.
Yeah, people don't get to enjoy that angle.
But I'm putting my finger on where the tip of my skateboard is, and I can go to the next frame, and you can see where the tip of my skateboard is and where the tip of my skimboard is. And what you could do, if you really wanted to get nitty gritty, is you can take this clip. Let's click on it here. Let's click here. Let's zoom in the slightest bit. Now, if we go back and we see both, here and here. Now I have some more frame to work with. So I'll remember where that skateboard is, and I'll move the skimboard clip. Make sure we're clicked on that. Oh, let's go back to that. I'll move the skimboard, if it lets me, right to where, closer to where the tip of that skateboard was. Now if you guys see, I can go frame by frame actually with my mouse if I wanted to go really slow. But as you see here, now that skimboard is more aligned with the tip of that skateboard.
Right, so the eye is drawn to where the action is, and that's where the change happens. That's great.
So now we see a little more smooth.
Yeah.
So good thing about filming in different settings and keeping those things in mind before you go into filming, that's a key thing.
Now we've got about 8 minutes here left. Did you want to just show people real quick how, if we were going to take this into a square or into another format, or is that something we save for tomorrow?
We can actually do that once we get the timeline a little more together, because it will be kind of cool to show how we have it done and how it's super easy to just like go back in and. Because a lot of times, if I make a video for YouTube, I'll make the full horizontal, and once it's completely done, duplicate the project, and then I'll just fix it up.
Then you'll have one 16 by 9, one 1 by 1. Perfect. That's terrific. So yeah, what is going to be coming up tomorrow? What are we going to be getting into for folks who tune in?
So tomorrow I'm going to show you a little bit more tweaking of how I do like the transitions and things like that, and maybe adding in a couple drone clips and narrowing down that storyline with the music and possibly adding some sound effects.
All right, excellent stuff. Because we've got the music on there now. Needs a little bit more sound on maybe some of the transitions.
More feel, and we'll play around with the audio a little bit too.
Where does this music come from, by the way?
So this music I've searched around a lot on like SoundCloud, and I do use Premium Beats as well. This one's not from Premium Beats. This one's actually one that I found on SoundCloud and from kind of like a non-copyright artist that I like, and. Yeah, I've used this artist actually in the past, and there are some things that you can get away with on Instagram but not YouTube, and that's something to keep in mind, whereas Instagram it's not as like tough on the copyright rules, but with YouTube you definitely want to be a lot more professional in the sense of where you find your music and make sure that, I believe they're mentioning in the other live streams, is like you don't want to have a video that has like 100,000 views and it just gets taken down with the music or it's muted or something.
Yeah, make sure you credit artists if you use stuff from them. Very important.
100%. I feel like without music artists, like I don't know what I would do. Like I give them so much credit.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, do you sometimes start with the music and build from there? Like, is that
it happens. Like sometimes the music, just like the sound of a song, even if I'm listening to it, it'll pop up in my car. I'll be like, dang, like can definitely, I feel this type of edit to this, or I feel that type of, and then it's like stuck in your head until you get the footage for it. And then a lot of times I can put a whole edit together as far as like basic timeline, not to a beat, but like I'm like, what do I do about this song? Like none of these are working. I have like 10 different options. I'm like, it's not that one yet. And it's cool when you do find it though, because it's gotta feel right.
Oh, we have to hook you up with a composer somewhere, then get you some custom work done.
Heck yeah, I've been stoked on some of the people that have been generous to like offer me their music and stuff like that too. I'm like, thank you so much.
Yeah, it's a big thing. Here's a thing I've made. Would you like to use it?
Yeah, collaborations are always the best.
That's terrific. Well, let's see. We still got some more time here. So, yeah, tomorrow we've got Jeremy in the morning, like you said. So people were asking what's going on tomorrow.
Check out Jeremy.
Yeah, Jeremy's going to be in here tomorrow. First thing in the morning, I'm going to give away that year of Creative Cloud and tell you about new things to do. And then, so we'll be on there it's from 9 to 10:30 Pacific time. For people in Europe, remember, time zones have shifted, so just keep that in mind. Maybe Google up what time things are happening. But yeah, and then 10:30, Amy Lee, Michael Shea will be on the boards, and then we'll be back at 12, back at noon for more of this, continuing on with this project. It's been terrific having you here. I'm
awesome.
glad you've been able to make the time. We have a very busy schedule to make this happen, and you can come in here and enjoy Rush, and it's great.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it.
Before we're done for the day, tell the folks where they can see more of your stuff and get in touch with you.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you guys for tuning in, and check out the rest of my videos or my work on Instagram and YouTube. I also post every once in a while on Twitter and things like that. So check that out, and I'll have a lot of new stuff coming up. I got some new edits launching at the end of this month, or actually beginning of next month, since we're already there.
Yeah. Well, the month went by pretty quickly.
It did. It really did. I can't believe it's Halloween tomorrow.
It is Halloween tomorrow. It'll be creepily spooktacular tomorrow.
Spooktacular.
Just wait for it.
Thanks, Peter.
It'll be great. Yeah, thank you, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.
Everyone in the chat, it was great seeing your questions. I'm glad you could come out. And we'll see you all tomorrow.
See you guys.
Boogans.
Oh, look.